So for you to cope with something like that, Mary, you must have been through it. I mean, you've obviously got some pretty big courage inside you. You know, there's something that you're not just an absolute newbie to life. I know earlier you and I had a conversation and you mentioned that you had to change your life because you got divorced. So I'll let you explain that one for me.
Okay, well, I've been married for quite a long time, like 20 years, and I'd been with my husband he was my boyfriend for about 5 years before that. So long relationship. And he was a very successful businessman and also a guru in IT, well respected and known and so on. And so I kind of just floated along, happily and didn't worry about finances or anything. And I had a nice little publishing business, which I really liked, but didn't bring in much money. And then things went haywire. The business went down and my husband and I broke up. And I suddenly realised I had this little business. I thought, oh, my goodness, I just better get myself into gear here because this isn't going to support me, this business. Luckily, the children had pretty much grown up, but I just suddenly had this realisation that I needed to get my act together. And prior to this, I'd always been sort of standing by my husband in events and things and just saying yes and smiling and just being the sort of the extra person, the partner that didn't say much. And then afterwards, I realised that it was up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. And certainly when I first got divorced, I was, really struggling. But gradually, I just sort of got confidence in my own abilities, and although it was very slow, and now I'm a completely different person. And now I'm doing things, and now my husband's actually, ex-husband, he's actually quite ill. He has got Parkinson's, and so that's a different matter. But over the years, there's been this kind of change in roles, and just happened really through one of life's kind of unplanned for circumstances. But I do feel that it was a turning point for me, not something that you'd want to happen, but look, hey, it was not at all negative, some positives for me.
I really hope that people, women and people in general, but women listening to this, hear this story and think, yes, you weren't a property developer. It's almost like you were the movie extra. You'd go to an event and you were just one of the extras and you did everything right and said all the right things and you were the right dutiful partner. And I'm sure you brought up lovely children and cooked all the meals and kept an amazing house. But we forget that sometimes that's actually what got me into life coaching when I first started coaching. I just got tired I was working as a personal trainer in a gym, and I got tired of hearing stories of women who husbands left them and they ended up having a really sad life. And one lady was sorting mail, and it was a real tipping point for me. I thought, women have got to do something about themselves. And so to hear that you gained courage by getting into property and how this journey just evolved and became bigger than what you thought it would be, it's made you a much stronger woman, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Hilary. I mean, I think it was the process of getting involved in the property development. I did do little things before this. The first thing that I did was I renovated my house big time because I had a house and then I had to sell it. We had a house and we had to sell it. And then I bought another house, which was pretty awful. And I renovated that with the builder. It turned out really well. And then I did another one. So I had done a few things, sort of gradually crept up on it, didn't go completely into this unknown. And yes, and the house that I bought was because we separated and I had to get another house and I couldn't afford a really fabulous house. So I just bought an ordinary house and renovated it. And so that was basically kind of where I started from doing those things, a couple of them that turned out really well financially. And so, then I bought this bigger property, the old heritage property, and then I did an apartment out the back in that and changed it all around. And so it was sort of a gradual process. It wasn't going from doing nothing to doing this big thing. And I know that you say all the time, start small. And I did start small, but I probably never planned to do a development. It just, each stage was sort of an obvious kind of progression from the last one, really.
And probably you have to have had some sort of desire to improve life, and you weren't just prepared to, okay, it's all sorted now, I've got myself a nice house, I can just get an 8 to 5 and survive. There's some drive in the background to go, oh, hang on, I could do more. Oh, hang on, I can do more. And you grew.